Hello, in this session I'm going to show you how an assistant user logs onto QSP and then performs a differential and also produces a report. So we'll log onto QSP, can then add our username and password, start the classification of slides, pick a package, open that package up and then pick a slide that I've not already performed. It'll read the slide in and then we can now perform a differential. So if I select individual cells and while holding the control key down I can select multiple cells. So here I'm selecting the neutrophils and as I go along I can see the global morphology of the neutrophils. When I've selected enough neutrophils I can either press Z, because if we look over here we can see a shortcut key Z. So if I press Z on the keyboard, it transfers all those cells to the neutrophil box, and then I can continue classifying the neutrophils as I go along. We'll deselect that one because I think that might be an immature form. So we'll carry on just doing the neutrophils. Then I can also see that I've got some abnormal looking cells. Now if I don't want to use a shortcut key, I can actually drag and drop selection into the box. So I'll just show you that in a tick. So here we go, select all of those, then I can drag and drop those into the neutrophils. If you can see here I've differentiated 63 cells out of a total of 128. So we'll just carry on. You always get more than 100 cells to do the differential on. You cannot ignore a cell, you have to differentiate each cell. So there's no ambiguity. So I'm going to do my lymphocytes and I'm going to classify the nucleated reds incorrectly just so you can see what it looks like on the report. So if you can imagine, I'm an inexperienced member of staff who's unsure how to differentiate a nucleated red from a lymphocyte. So I'm just selecting all those. And as you can see, it's a very easy way of doing the differential. I'm just selecting and clicking while holding the control key down. So I'm going to call those lymphocytes, so I'll press X. Not many more cells to do. I've got a few monocytes. Let's drag and drop those. A few more lymphocytes. So we'll do those, that's X. Then if I look down here, I've got a full range of cells. So I'm going to call these cells metamyelocytes. So that's all the differential done. Now it's also good practice to just check the cells. So if I double click on the neutrophil box I can see all the neutrophils, make sure I've not misclassified any. If I feel as though I've misclassified, so for example I want to put some nucleated reds from the lymphocyte box, I can just drag and drop those into the nucleated red box. Remember, I'm not doing this for real, this is just an example of how to do it. So look at the monocytes. So look at my metamyelocytes. I think that might be a myelocyte, so I'll just drag and drop that across, and nucleated reds. If you want to put some global white cell comments, for example, our odds, toxic gran, we have a full list of comments on here, and we can just pick one. So for example, if you think they're hypergranular, just click on that, and that will be compared with the reference. If I look on the red cell field, I can zoom in and zoom out, and I can see in here I've got a few schistocytes. So I can just put 2+ schistocytes. Again, you can see we have a full list of commonly used red cell morphology terms. And we have some platelet terms as well, so agranular and missing granuloma. So we look at properties, and here we can see some patient details, so basic hematological information and some basic clinical details if that is of interest to us. Once we're happy with that, we can approve it. Once we've approved it, we cannot redo it. That's it, done. So let's click on approve. Yes. So now you'll see that that slide has disappeared. Now each person will want to know how they've gone on. To do that, we go to report generation, select create report, select the slide that we want to create a report from, and we're going to create a PDF. You can send this file anywhere. I'm just going to put it to the default desktop location, but if you had a secure server, you could add it to that, and each person could add it to their own personal portfolio. So if we have a look at create report, we'll see now that the Adobe icon's gone red. That now means that I've got a report behind it. Double click on that icon and it brings the report up. The first thing you can see is an estimate of how we've done on. So the dark colour is the expert, the lighter colour is the assistant, i.e. me, that I've just done. So report of test, that's the username. So we can see here immediately that I've misclassified more lymphocytes than the expert did. Not too bad on neutrophils and monocytes. Not terribly good on metamyelocytes, myelocytes. I've missed a few, and I've missed a lot of nucleated reds. The next page on, we can see the absolute and percentage for both the assistant and the expert. A bit further down, we've got some more statistics: true pos, false pos, true neg, false neg, and a sensitivity and precision figure. Well, here's where it gets interesting, because every cell that I misclassified brings a picture up of that cell that I've misclassified. It tells you what I classified it as, what it should be, and how many, if any, other assistants have got it wrong or misclassified it. So there's no ambiguity. It's obvious that I've misclassified the nucleated reds as lymphocytes. Here I've got it the other way around. So you can see here that this person got a lot wrong. So he needs some further work on his morphology. The last page, which we'll come to in a second, we've got the red cell morphology. The expert thought there was 3+ poikilocytosis, and they also thought there was 1+ schistocytes. I thought there was 2+. And on the last one, we've got some free text. So if you want to, the assistant can put in their film comment, as they would do normally, if that is what you want. You don't need to use this, but it's an area that you can use with microangiopathic, for example. The expert can also put a comment in, well done or whatever, and then you can have some corrective actions thereafter, and it can be fully signed off as well. So once you've finished that, you can just save it, and then that will be saved for posterity. So that's it. Thank you.